All right, so I guess
What does that record?
that's recording. If you fart, it's going to record it.
Oh.
So if you pick your nose, it's going to record it. So it's
Yeah.
going to record the video and it's going to
You
record
mean
the
it's
sound.
running right now?
It's running right now. It's recording me saying that because
Oh.
that's the kind of stuff we talk
Yeah.
about. But okay. So tell me the story that Sonny was saying about the rice when you were over. In,
Oh well.
so what island were you on?
I had a guerrilla patrol.
Yep.
I had 5 guys, guerrillas, and
where was it? What particular
the
island?
Philippines.
Okay.
And I was out there looking for. Well, we were actually looking for the enemy, you know, and
this would be in like 44? What year would this be in?
he was up on
What year would that be in? Like 44, 45?
45, I would say.
Okay.
And because we were in the Philippines, it was getting towards the end of the war, and I had these guerrillas, and they said that they had gone up there, and they had got shot. They got shot up, so they had to pull back. So they send me up with my guerrillas, and
this is a bunch of Filipino guys, basically,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
And because this was in the Philippines, and here I come upon the statue of rice that they had taken, the Japanese had taken from the Filipinos, and there was 50-pound bags of rice just piled there, you know. Well, they did have a cover over it, and so I called for the bears, you know, I said, get some litter bearers here, or some people up here that can get the wounded out. And there was some dead ones there too. So they sent this whole bunch of Filipinos that they had hired as workers, you know, and they sent them up on the hills. And of course I was on the farthest hill, because these hills looked right down onto a reservoir that furnished Manila with the water. See, and they didn't want the Japanese to have any part of it, because you know, that was their water supply.
Yeah.
So they had these Japanese up in the hills, and you couldn't do anything, because up on the hill he would call down to a mortar battery that was down in the valley, and then they'd shoot mortars at you.
Yeah.
So I got up there with my guerrillas, and
at this time, were you still a sergeant medic, or were you?
Yeah.
Because this sounds like a little bit more than just typical medic stuff.
Well, yeah, but see, that was me. I was like poop. I was all over. But you know, whenever they would say there's action, that's where I went.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, we couldn't get this guy's. We don't know how many guys there was. There wasn't many. It only took a couple guys to hold everybody up, because you couldn't get at them.
Yeah.
So I took my guerrillas up there to try to get them, and I come upon this big statue of rice. All these, it was undercover, and it was like 50-pound bags of rice. And so there was, they had gone up before and left some wounded up there, and because they got pushed back. So I was up there to find out where the wounded was, and I found where they were. You know, some dead ones there too, and so I got the carriers up there to get the wounded out, or the dead, and the dead, I should say. And so they saw this rice, you know, and boy, their eyes opened up. I said, you get the wounded out and take the rice with you.
Yeah, yeah.
So they would carry the, I had a whole line of them carrying rice out.
Yep.
And, but they took the wounded out, and this one officer came up and he says, who told those people they could have that rice? Of course, I had my carbine, you know, and I says, I did. I says, they're carrying out the wounded. Oh. So, I don't know. I guess maybe he made a bundle off of it.
Yeah. Did you have like somebody with you translating so that you could tell the guerrillas?
Oh no, they understood. I had a guy that was a sergeant in the Philippine National Guard, and he could talk English.
Oh, okay.
And he would always say, "You tell me, and I'll tell them." You know?
Okay. Yep. Yep.
So the only thing he misunderstood was when I come upon this statue of rice, and I left the people start taking it. I told him to tell his people, you know, the guerrillas, to get a bag, and they didn't understand that.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They got left out.
Oops.
So. Well, I don't think so, because there was a lot around there.
Yeah.
But the guy, this officer came up, and, who said they could have that? And I says, I did. I says, they're carrying out the wounded.
Yeah.
And I says, it belongs to them anyhow.
Right. And those wounded, those were other Filipinos, not Americans.
No, they were Americans.
Oh, wow.
Americans had tried to get up there, and they got ambushed.
Yep.
So I was supposed to go up and get the wounded out. But that's why, you know, I was a medic, and I was supposed to get them out. But, you know, I ran into this statue of rice, and boy, that was the end of that. They come up and they got the wounded, but they got the rice.
They got their food. Yeah, they were probably starving at that point.
Well, that and the black market.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was probably pretty valuable.
Yeah.
So what about the this Japanese soldier's flag? What's the story that led up to you getting that? Like, where were you and how did you...
Well, there isn't, you know, it's an... I ran across we were had chasing them, you know, in the Philippines up on Luzon, and that's when they were losing the war, you know, and they were just leave junk behind.
Yep.
And this one was it was like a two-wheeled wagon that they had been pulling, and they left it there, you know, because they either left it or we shot them or something, you know. And in the junk, I found that flag.
Oh, okay.
And it had been a battle flag. And
well, so what's a battle flag would be what? What explain what a battle flag is.
Well, a battle flag, they usually, a lot of guys carried them, you know. And
it's just like a flag that you keep on your person, or was it one that you like wave?
No, it was a more or less individual. They were small, and if you would have got see, that one just has like a bullseye on it, you know. And
well, a bullseye or the Japanese sun?
Yeah. See the rising sun.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, the other ones, if they weren't individual, they were for companies or platoons. They had the rising sun with the bars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but if you were just a individual, you just had the flag, you know. And I was surprised at this chaplain, you know, and he got the band around the guy's heads.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, I mean, a chaplain, geez. Of going out there robbing the guy.
Yeah. Well, so it wasn't off of a dead soldier. It was just.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this flag was on a dead body.
Well, no, I got it out of a.
Oh, you got that out of the wagon. Okay.
They had a two-wheeled wagon.
Yep.
And was trying to get away with some junk, and it was on there.
Oh, okay.
But then at one time I found a Ford truck, and it was loaded with guns.
Oh wow.
And
so over there, would they have been like? Was that at that point? Was that when there were the AK-47s, or was that?
Oh no.
No, this is way before that. This is way before that.
Oh yeah, they didn't have those till
Okay.
later on.
Okay, because I know those were like Russian or Chinese.
These had just the single shot. You know,
okay. Okay.
What did they call them? I know the machine gun was called the Nambu.
Mm-hmm.
And what the regular rifle was called, I don't know.
Yep.
I mean, there is a name to it, but I can't think of it. But that's what we ran. I ran into. I got another truck, but that one was loaded with rifles, and what they had done is left all their stuff behind.
Mm-hmm.
And on the truck, they had put sand in the gas tank.
Oh, okay. So you couldn't use it anymore.
That is the one. They done it to all of them, I guess, because I know there was a good car sitting in the field and nobody could start it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the battery ran dead, and I guess they had sand in it. But the one that I had, the truck that I had was a Ford. Somewhere in the early 40s, like a 41 Ford or something.
Yep.
Because they didn't make them during the war.
Yep.
So
They had nice big fenders and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a Ford truck, and every once in a while it would stall.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go out and take the cleaner off the carburetor and dump it out, clean it out, and put it back.
Yep.
Because it was full of, the gas tank was
Full of sand.
full of sand. But sometimes it would run a long time without
Oh wow.
getting clogged up. So
Yeah, every once in a while the sand ends up getting and going through the fuel
Yeah.
line. What about your Purple Hearts that you have? Do you have one Purple Heart or two?
I got two.
Because I only see one hanging up over there. Is there a
Yeah, well, see, you only get one,
Oh, okay.
and after that you get on the ribbon.
You get a little clip on?
On the ribbon that you get with the Purple Heart.
Yep.
Then for being wounded the second time, you get an oak leaf cluster.
Okay.
And I had two oak leaf clusters on my, I got it on my jacket in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's after you get wounded the second time. Well, then they give you an oak leaf cluster to go on your ribbon.
They start giving you smaller and smaller medals, so hopefully you take the hint that you're not supposed to get wounded.
No. Well, they just give you. If the guy says I have 3 Purple Hearts, he doesn't mean that.
He's got a Purple Heart and 2 clusters?
And 2 clusters.
So what'd you get your first Purple Heart for?
Oh, that's when I got shot through here.
And that was in the jungle, right?
I don't know.
You can't remember?
I think so. I don't. That would be. Oh, jeez.
Yep.
It's foggy.
Yeah. What about do you remember any of the other ones?
Oh yeah, I sort of remember them all. Cause hey.
Yeah. So you got shot through the side once. What happened the other 2 times?
Then I got clobbered along here, and that was it. That was the only times. And Lee's got my jacket.
Yep.
That I was shot through here, and there's blood on the collar.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So,
do you remember what happened in that incident?
Oh yeah, I was trying to hide
Mm-hmm.
because we couldn't find the sniper.
Yep.
It was a sniper, and
Again, is this in the Philippines or would this have
Yeah.
been? Okay.
this is in the Philippines.
You did just about everything in the Philippines, didn't you?
Oh yeah, because well, no, I wasn't in the first part of the Philippines. See, in the Philippines, there's 7,000 islands,
Oh wow.
and I was just on the big ones.
Yep.
And the first big one I didn't get on when they made the first assault, but I was in the second
Mm-hmm.
on the big island of Luzon, and that's where I got clobbered here.
So you were hiding from a sniper?
Trying to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Only a little bit.
when we first ran into the sniper, I was facing him, and this guy was standing next to me. He had his back to him, and he shot, and that's when they hollered sniper, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I dropped to the ground, and I was a fast draw.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I had my 45 in my hand, and here he'd killed my buddy.
Right, that was right next to you with his back to him.
Yeah. And so after that, when I tried to hide, you know, I mean, more or less, because they were trying to get him.
Yeah.
And
What was the setting? Were you in a forest or?
yeah, up in the hills.
Yep.
Because what we were trying to do was clear them out of the hills above Manila because of the reservoir.
Yep.
And we didn't want them, they would call in fire. See, they were high on the hills, and they could call in fire from the valley above the reservoir.
With the mortars?
Yeah. Knocked the shit out of us. And finally, towards the end, we found out on this other hill, there was a little pillbox up there. And he was the guy that was calling in the fire.
Ah, okay.
See, and then when we got him out of there, there was no problem.
Yep. So did you ever find the sniper?
Oh, somebody did.
Yeah.
Because I went up there by him, you know, and these two guys were eating their lunch, and here's this dead body. And it stunk, you know.
Yeah.
Because over there, like if you got shot and fell, in an hour or so, your body got to stinking.
No,
you know,
yeah,
because of the weather.
Yeah.
And these guys were sitting there eating beans out of a can, and here was a dead guy.
But he had already gotten you by then, huh? He had
Yeah,
nicked
they
you
had got him in, and
No, but he had gotten you. He had
yeah,
shot you. Did he get you right after he got your buddy, or?
yeah, that's when we knew he was there.
Yeah.
See, because they just hollered after he shot. They hollered sniper.
Yeah.
And when they did, I was on the ground with my gun.
Mm-hmm.
But my buddy had already been dead.
So you were like peeking around the corner and he got you?
No,
you just...
no, we were out in the open.
Yep.
That's the problem. And then I got behind a tree, and it wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
And he was kicking up the dirt on both sides of me.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't know which way to go, so I just sat there, and
Yep.
that was the end of him, but somebody got him.
Hmm. Did you guys have a sniper with you as well?
No, well, we did, but they weren't called, they were sharpshooters.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because they didn't take the name. What they would do is, he had a different gun.
Yeah, you had guys that were walking side by side with you with big guns. They weren't just sitting in one place the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had everybody had the M1s, you know, the automatic.
Yep.
Semi-automatic. But the guys that was after, that we called our snipers, they had a different kind of a gun.
Yep.
And they got the sniper, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he was, after he got quite a few guys.
Yeah.
because you couldn't get to him, you know.
Yeah, yeah. It probably was pretty hard to find him too.
Yeah, well, they're up in a tree, and then they try to get in the crotch of the tree.
Yeah.
And you couldn't see them, and so it was tough to get them. But you know, sometimes you had to give a little bit to get them.
Yeah.
You know?
And so Lee has the jacket that you had on when you got.
Yeah. Because it's got the hole in it.
Yeah.
Well, that was 2 different times.
Oh, that was okay. So that was the second one. What about your third, or your second oak? Your second pin on your
Well, the first was when I got shot through the shoulder.
Yep.
And I don't know which one was the second. Oh
Yeah.
well, wait a minute.
Well, you had through the shoulder, you had the neck, and you had another one?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, you got shot in your hand, didn't you? Did you get shot in your hand?
Well, see, I was trying to get a guy, and I was out in the open.
Yeah.
You know.
Again, this is in the Philippines?
Yeah, and it was on Clark Field, the airstrip. And he was shooting with a 20mm cannon that hits the ground and then pieces fly all over.
Yep.
And that's what got in my hand.
Oh, okay.
Because I was out trying to get this guy, and
trying to get a wounded guy,
yeah,
and bring him back in.
And the guy wasn't very accurate because he had a gun that he had taken off a Japanese airplane, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
the guy that's shooting at you was using a gun that he had taken off the airplane.
that he had taken off of a
So
airplane.
I'm assuming this would be a Japanese soldier that was shooting at you. Okay.
A Japanese soldier, and he took a gun off of an airplane,
Yep.
you know. Apparently he didn't have one of his own or
Yep.
something. But that's what he tried to get me with, you
Yep.
know. He did get, you know, some of the guys.
Yep.
But I was out to get this one guy that was still alive, and he took aim at me.
Yeah.
But it, like I say, it didn't have, I don't know the end of it.
Yep.
Because they got him, and he had this gun and off the airplane, and apparently, you know, he was just using it
Mm-hmm.
haphazardly.
Right, because that would be a pretty heavy gun.
Oh yeah, they were 20mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what happens is it hits the ground and
Yeah.
you know.
Would that have been a gun that would have sat that would have had a gunner in the actual plane?
No,
or?
they would have had it on the airplane itself.
Right.
Because
But
the gunner didn't have that big of a bullet.
Okay.
On the plane itself, either in the nose or on the wing,
Yeah.
depends on what kind of airplane it's on.
Yeah.
And they would shoot through the nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a 20mm cannon.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So
that probably took a little finagling to get off the plane in the first place.
oh yeah, well, no, it's easy to
Really?
get at.
Okay.
Because you open up, you got to reload it all the time, you know, and you just take a couple screws out and pull a panel, and there it is.
Oh, okay.
So it was that's what they were using, because he didn't have like sights on it, you know. That was,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
he was shooting haphazardly.
Yep.
But that's when they're dangerous.
Yeah, you're just spraying all over the place.
Uh,
Okay. Cool.
Jeez. But it was an experience.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I'm going to stop this right now.